welcome to my channel. If you're new, please subscribe. Today's topic is about identity, and I find it a very intriguing topic, a very controversial topic as well, because in a PC world that we live in, you have to be careful what you say. People identify with so many things, and they have the right to do so. But what is the meaning of identity? Right. By dictionary definition, identity is a condition of being a person or a thing. Also, it is the characteristic of a person definitively recognizable or known. Now, with that definition, I would say identity, or one's identity, is forged or manufactured in regards to one's history. And your history is what's going to create your reality, or how you perceive this world. It all starts with the mind. Okay, your history is recorded in your mind. Your experience in life is recorded in your mind. And your mind creates this reality that you find yourself in. So in essence, your reality is created by your thoughts. Okay? And your reality is what gives way to your actions and your interactions in the society. And your actions is what's going to determine your future. Okay? And also how people look at you. Okay? So the question is it important to know your identity? I would say yes, it is. Okay. Who do people identify you as? Who are you perceived as by people? Okay. It doesn't matter what you perceive of yourself. Okay. It doesn't matter what identity you give yourself. What matters is your identity is going to have to be recognized by other people, because you share this planet with everybody else, and not everybody else is like you. So my channel is about black people who identify themselves as Africans. Okay. I'm not going to force you to identify yourself as an African. But if you're somebody like me who identifies as an African because you acknowledge the landmass called Africa, you relate to the people on that landmass called Africans, and thirdly, you identify with their struggle. Now, everything else is abstract, but the reality is we are in this paradigm as black people. We've been put in this condition as black people to be looked down upon because of our economic background. We do not compete globally economically. So it all comes down to identity. People don't want to associate themselves or affiliate themselves with Africa because majority of Africans are impoverished. Nobody wants to identify with that. But how do we collectively effect a change? If we elevate Africa from poverty, will people be excited to identify themselves as Africans? I think it's possible. It will be the case. Because now we have Chinese people who have already identified themselves as Africans moving into Africa in droves by the millions. And Africans in the West are sitting back and not doing anything. They rather identify with something else but African. I find it very, very ridiculous. Identifying yourself, finding identity in something is acknowledging the history. If your history is tainted with so much struggle and pain and suffering, what do you do as a free person? Do you ignore your history? Start a new life? Or build your life based on your history and make sure that history does not repeat itself? But we all know that history is always bound to repeat itself. There was this philosopher by the name George Sadayana, who by observation of the World War I and World War II history theorized that people who do not learn from history are bound to repeat it. Even though that is valid, I also believe that history is bound to repeat itself, regardless of if you acknowledge it or not. So it's better to know your history, that when history repeats itself, you know how to react, how to counter the effect of history. So if you discard your history and create yourself a utopia where you don't want to remember anything from your past, I find it a very, very, very dangerous thing to do. And it can become very, very disastrous. So on this note, I would like to conclude and say that for Africans, African Americans, Afro-Caribbean, anybody who looks like me, who is perceived as an African, but deny their affiliation with Africa, deny that they are Africans. I feel that you need to really think again. I'm not here to force you, but imagine Africa wasn't so impoverished. Africa was so rich. Now, mind you, Africa is rich, but the economic affairs in Africa is what's left Africa to be what it is at the moment. But say we get past those obstacles, rebuild Africa. Would they be proud to identify as African? I would say 90% of the time they would. Okay, and this is why I'm dedicating my channel into improving the lives of Africans, educating Africans to empower themselves economically. It is only through economics that we can liberate ourselves. We educate ourselves in economics, how to manage our own affairs, how to manage the mineral resources, the infinite amount of mineral resources, natural resources in Africa. We manage it to our own benefit. There's no reason why Africa shouldn't be an economic superpower. There's absolutely no reason. And it starts with oneself, one acknowledging himself as an African, one acknowledging the motherland as his home and base of operation. It is only that we can achieve global recognition. It's only through that we can gain respect from all those people around the world that look down on us. On this note, I conclude. Thank you.